Great afternoon, great afternoon, great afternoon. Listen, I just want y'all to get up for my daughter because I had to drag her into this kicking and screaming on tonight. But listen, I am when this morning when she so lovingly surprised me with the necklace that I still have on. God gave me a glimpse into the journey that we have taken, and I said, let me hop on for a little bit and let us share our process. Let me share what we have been through as mother and daughter and encourage somebody because I know how long I prayed. I know how long it took me to get to a place where um, I could release and let go and just trust God. And it wasn't easy. So I asked her to get on here with me tonight. She didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it, y'all. But I asked her to get on with me tonight and just talk a little bit about the waiting room, and talk about what the waiting room looks like when, as a mother, you or a daughter who is praying for the restoration of your relationship with your mom. And I just want to remind somebody and tell somebody that it is absolutely possible to restore a relationship. I don't care how broken it is, I don't care how far gone it may seem. I want you to know that it is possible. So the first thing I want to say is happy Mother's Day. If nobody has told you happy Mother's Day already today, happy Mother's Day. Now I am on TikTok and I am on Facebook, so I don't know how interactive I'm going to be able to be. But somebody just joined. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I can't see you on TikTok, but thank you for joining us. I just want to say Happy Mother's Day because we assume that somebody has said Happy Mother's Day to somebody already because it's 7 o'clock at night. But if you haven't heard it yet today, Happy Mother's Day. And I know today for some is not a day of celebration. For some it is, others it's not. It's a heavy day. It may be a day of loss or a day of desiring relationship with your daughter. Because for me, that was me for lots and lots and lots of years, desiring a relationship with my daughter, not hearing from my daughter on Mother's Day, not hearing, listen, my daughter and I now can get on the phone and talk for an hour and a half. There was times that I could go 3 or 4 months and not talk to my daughter for an hour and a half. So I just want to encourage you. So this is my daughter. For years and years, I called her T Baby, so I had to change that because although she will always be my baby, she's now T Lady. So I want to introduce you to T Lady. This is my miracle, my blessing, what I asked God for, and He gave me. I asked Him for a daughter. I wanted a daughter. She's not an oops baby. I wanted her. Now I didn't realize I didn't have no business with no baby, but I wanted her, and God gave me what I asked for. And we're here on tonight because we just want to talk about the power of restoration, even though we didn't have a perfect history. My daughter and I did not have a perfect history, but we definitely have a testimony of restoration. If you're a mom that is in silent, or in this, I call it the silent years or the angry years, I just want you to know that God is still moving, and even when He seems silent. Yeah, when I tell y'all I prayed for years. Woo, we got some testimonies that she ain't ready to tell, but I prayed for years, for my daughter. I prayed for years for healing. I prayed for years for every birthday, every Mother's Day, every Christmas, every holiday that came and went, and my daughter and I had a fractured relationship. So Tiara did agree to join me today because she understands how important it is to talk about what really is possible. So, can you say hi? Yeah, I told you I drug her on here kicking and screaming for us to talk about this mother-daughter relationship. Because, see, for me, I know I run into so many mothers that are in breakdown with their daughters, and these are conversations that we're going to have to start having so these mothers do not feel. I don't want people to feel alone because I felt alone. Everybody was talking about how, can I be honest? Everybody was talking about how wonderful motherhood was. Oh, mother, my children are amazing and all of this, but that wasn't my experience. My daughter was off doing what she was doing, and I was over here by myself for Mother's Day, by myself for birthdays, by myself for holidays, because our relationship was in breakdown. So I don't want to get lost. So what brought this? what made me want to talk about this was this morning. I was headed out to church and my daughter told me to wait a second. She said, "Wait a minute. I have something I want to give you." Thank you for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. She said, "Wait a minute," and she had this gift for me. It's a flower, and it came, and it says, it plays. Did I turn it the wrong way? Okay. It plays "You Are My Sunshine," and it came with this necklace, and it's 1,000 ways to say.
Oh, it says in the middle, 100 different ways I love you.
100 different ways I love you. And y'all, when I tell y'all, this blessed my soul, because first of all, it took thought. It wasn't a gift card. I love flowers, and for her to buy me a forever rose was so incredible. For her to take the time to think about something, and I've had this on all day, for her to think about what, not just buying me something because it's Mother's Day, but to spend time, effort, and energy in buying me something that she thought I would like. And this morning, when I looked at what God had done in our relationship and how people may see us together now and never believe that my daughter hated me. Strong word, I know. But period, point blank, my daughter hated me. And to see us morph from that to where we are is nothing short of a miracle. And I said, I want to hop on and encourage a mother that is where I was for so many years. You didn't hear from your daughter. You didn't even so much as get a text message. You think about labor, and I don't mean just the physical labor of giving birth to a child. You can jump in. She probably won't. You don't just think about the physical birth, the physical labor of birthing a child. When you think about the labor of raising a child, when you think about the labor of rearing a child, disciplining a child, and disciplining doesn't just hurt them, it hurts you, but they don't realize that. The labor of being a mother is hard, it's tough, it's tight. And sometimes you will find yourself alone on the road to motherhood. And I just want to talk to a few people who knows what it feels like to desire a relationship with your daughter, and it just seems out of reach. You prayed, you cried, you fasted, you've asked, you've reached out, you've tried everything that you could. I'm so sorry. Thank you for joining us. Hilly, Lakitha, thank you for joining us. So the first thing I'm asked here is, hang on just a second. I got to get to my first question. So when we were talking the other day, we were just talking about how our relationship has changed and how even when we have a moment of contention, it's like we can't even get angry anymore. It's like she'd be like, "Listen here, lady, I don't know what's going on. Whatever it is I did, I'm sorry." She don't even, there's not even a fight. So even when I want to, or when she wants to, it's just like, you done? You finished? And God is healed to a way, in such a way that even when I'm wrong, she'll apologize. Even when she's wrong, I'll apologize. Because being right doesn't even matter. Being healed and whole is the most important thing for both of us. So the first question I'm going to ask is, when you think about our past versus our present, what do you think in your heart is the biggest difference between the two? That's all right. Take your time. That's not the first. She's telling me. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, maybe that's not the first question, but can we answer it? What do you think? No, that isn't. Yeah, this. Yeah. See, y'all, how we working through this? So when you think about our past and our present, what do you think is the biggest difference in your heart? And I think when we talked about it, she just talked about forgiveness. Like her being in a place, would you say that's true? This is not, and this is what I'm talking about. The sacrifice that she's making to do something I'm comfortable with, she absolutely is not comfortable doing. I just want to let y'all know she ain't comfortable doing this. But because it was important to me, because I felt like people needed to hear our story, she got on this, she's getting on this camera and she's doing it. So her silence is not a lack of participation. It's a place of her being uncomfortable and doing it because it's important to me. that in of itself is a miracle. So when we talked about it, we talked through these questions already. When we talked about it, she was just like, it's just forgiveness. Would you agree? She made it was a decision. It wasn't that wasn't a part of the relationship that was layered. She made a decision to forgive, and that was the foundation. And with that decision to forgive, we began healing our relationship. Um, I prayed for a crack in the door. I prayed for God just to give me, be able to put my, can I just put my foot, I just want to reach her. I just want to talk to her. Every conversation was strained. Every conversation was mean. Every conversation was, she just didn't, y'all, she just didn't like me. Can we be honest? She just, thank you for joining. Thank you so much. The TikTok camera is so far, y'all. Listen, I can't see your names to, thank you for joining. Latria, thank you so much for joining. She just didn't like me. So every conversation, honestly, would you say that this is accurate? Lady, what do you want?
Absolutely. Why are you calling my phone?
Why are you on my phone? What can I do for you? And the silence on the other end, y'all, if I'm honest, was deafening. Because I'm trying to reach her and she don't want to be reached. I'm trying to call, try to check on her, and she is like, what do you want? But I now realize that she was more reachable than it seemed, because the fact that she even answered the phone. See, you know, when you're in it, it's almost like whenever you're going through a thing, we oftentimes look at what we don't have, and we're not thankful for what we do have, right? So I wasn't thankful for the fact she picked up the phone. I wasn't thankful for the fact she didn't hang up. I was just complaining because why won't she talk to me? Like, I'm calling, hey, how you doing? Have you eaten? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, now, do I know she was doing that? No, but I'm her mama. I know what she doing. All right, bye. Like, when we get to the end of a phone call that wasn't a conversation. All right, bye. Because she didn't want to talk to me. Healing is possible. Restoration is possible. God will. But how long did it take? Y'all, this wasn't no 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years. Can we talk about it?
Years.
My daughter's 34. This was probably a 2-decade breach. Now, we're not going to get off into the testimony just yet, because I don't think she's ready to share. But my daughter ran away when she was 18 years old. She didn't want nothing to do with me. Can you imagine loving, pouring? Well, of course you can. You're a mom. And it seems like nothing you do is ever right. And when she left, it's like, y'all, when I walked in the house, I felt her absence. We'd had a tiff, not gonna talk about it on this live. We'd had a tiff, right? And I left, and what she didn't know for years was we were supposed to go out, and we was gonna have a day out, mother-daughter day. I was gonna go out with one of my friends. We was taking our daughters out. We were gonna go shoe shopping. We were gonna go out to eat. And because she had gotten in trouble, I decided she wasn't gonna, I wasn't gonna punish myself because she was on punishment. And when I came home, true story, I walked across my threshold, y'all, and it was like in the spirit, I heard her hangers moving in the closet, and I saw the emptiness in the spirit. And I looked at my friend and I said, my daughter is gone. She said, how do you know that? I literally heard in the spirit the hangers going back and forth in the closet. And I went to her room, and her closet, not even 2 hours later, her closet was empty. Empty. I couldn't, and my friend was like, well, sis, what do you want to do? I couldn't even speak. I was so, I didn't know if I should cry or if I should be angry or if I didn't, because I didn't, like, she ain't got no car. She didn't want to learn how to drive, so she ain't got no license. What We lived in we didn't live in the country. We lived in the country. You understand? She ain't got on no bus. Where is my child? Not 1 week from her 18th birthday. Where is my child? And I was just, y'all, when I was just numb. I was numb, and I'm running our last conversation around in my brain, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have done it this way, or maybe I should have did it this way, or maybe I'm questioning everything I'm doing, and I got my friend asking me, what do you need me to do, and how do you need me to help? And I had no words. I was blank. All I knew is that I ran my daughter away, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know my gift, what I asked for, what I asked God to give me was gone. And I did not know how to handle it in my heart, in my spirit, in my head. My child was gone. And the emptiness in the house was palatable. So as I prayed, my daughter left. I didn't hear from her for 2 weeks. I didn't know where she was. I didn't know who she was with. 18 years old. I didn't know where my baby was. Cause she ain't a baby no more. She'll always be my baby, but I didn't know where she was. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me, Jenny. Thank you for joining me. I'm sorry, I can't. Is that Meg? Kimberly, thank you for joining me. And see, here's the thing, y'all. The house that I had in Noonan, the way you came down the driveway, it was a side entry garage. So everybody came in through the garage because the garage was always open. The door was open. When she did come back, she came in through the front door. She came to the front door. This where you live. What you doing knocking on the door? Because in defiance, she knew it not. I don't know that the girl had ever been to the front door. And all the time we had lived there. But I remember seeing my daughter walk across, come up the steps. And I didn't even think it was possible to be more broken than I was in that moment. Because you've been gone for 2 weeks. You haven't asked me if I'm okay. Told me that you're okay. And then when you come back, you do another stab jab to the heart. By going to, she knew. I didn't like nobody coming to the front door. If you came to the front door, you were a stranger. You didn't know me. Nobody who knew me came to the front door, but she done brought her little behind back to this house. Not this house, but it came to the front door and, I could have beat her. But I was just so glad to see her. And she was like, I'm just coming to let you know I'm all right. And then she had the nerve to be having an attitude. I'm just coming to let you know I'm all right. What do you do? What do you do with that? You want to be angry, right? But how can you be angry when you just want to know where you're at? Where are you at? Who are you with? How are you eating? Right? All I knew was I was glad to see my daughter. I wanted to be angry, but I couldn't. Are you okay? I'm all right. Just indignant. Just indignant. So when I was praying for just a crack in the door, from your side of the door, was there a specific moment that your heart began to soften toward me? Like, at what moment did the anger begin to subside and you started saying,
When people started dying.
Can you say it a little louder?
When people started dying.
So we're not going to get heavy into that, but we have experienced a lot of loss. And we experienced that loss in a very short period of time. Over like a year and 3 months, we lost a lot. But it took the passing of people for her to begin to open up and soften her heart. For her to get to a place where she was ready for our relationship. Because the one thing I can say is if there was anything wrong with me health-wise, now I ain't gonna say she was nice, she wasn't very talkative. We didn't come in, she didn't hop into bed with me, check on me, see how I'm doing. I'm not gonna say bare minimum. I'm not even gonna say bare minimum. But if something was wrong with me, my daughter would show up. I had to be sick, but I'm not gonna tell y'all that when I was sick that my daughter didn't come because she did. But that's the only time that I could get her to come and see about me. It's the only time I could get her to call me for
Anything.
years. Yeah, I did say, tell y'all it was almost 2 decades, right? Okay, I want to make sure that we understand the level of breach we're talking about. The level of breach. So it took loss for her to desire a relationship with me, for her to want to begin healing her relationship with me. And I hate that it took that, but I'm glad it was the pathway to start going back. How would you advise moms to handle the hard heart season when it doesn't matter what they do, when it doesn't matter how much they pray, when it doesn't matter they see them, they love them? I would try to hug on Tierra and she'd be like, oh. She didn't say it, thank God. She had a little bit of respect, but she'd be like, why are you touching me? What, like, what do you want? And it was so heartbreaking because I desired a relationship and she desired anything but. She'd answer the phone and she yes, no, the very bare, the least amount of words she had to use to talk to me is what she would use. You're 1, you're 2, you're 3, you're 5, you're 6, you're 10. Are you understanding me? And I'm praying and I'm crying and I'm believing. And I'm praying and I'm crying and I'm believing. And I'm praying and I'm crying and I'm believing. So a mother who is in that season of praying, crying, believing, heartbroken, it's Mother's Day. And that mother who's not heard from their daughter. Or even a mother that hasn't heard from their son because of a breach or break in the relationship.
Yeah, earring fail.
Oh. How would you advise a mom to handle the hardened heart season?
Love them.
What do you, and I know that this is not on the paper, I didn't prepare you for that, but what would you say loving them looks like? Love them.
Showing up when you don't like what it look like.
Showing up
when it's ugly, showing up when they high, showing up when they drunk, showing up. That doesn't mean you have to let them disrespect you, but show up. Don't just quit because it's hard.
So showing up in prayer, but also showing up in presence. Mm-hmm. When you look back on that place of anger and disconnect, what did you need from me that you couldn't in that season find the words to ask me for?
Maturity.
You needed maturity, which wasn't about me.
Mm-mm.
So what I hear her saying is, I can't speak for anybody else other than me. I was trying to figure out what I had done wrong. I was trying to figure out how I could fix it. I was trying, because I'm the fixer. You know, I oftentimes have an answer or a fix for most things. So I'm trying to figure out what do I need to do to fix my relationship with my daughter, and she's telling me there was nothing I could do. All I had to do was wait and pray for her to mature, for her to get to a place where God and only God softened her heart, so that she would be open to renewing and restoring her relationship with me. And I wanted to ask her this. I think I already know the answer. Was there anything that I was doing wrong that made it easy to stay mad?
Take care of other people. Other people's children.
Say that again.
Taking care of other people's children.
Why did that make you angry?
Because I felt like you had more patience for other people than you had for me.
And see, mothers, this is what I want to share. We got to be able to have these hard conversations with our children when we've had relationships that have been broken down. Thank you for joining me. I'm so sorry I can't see everybody's name. Thank you for joining me. So what my daughter just said to me is, one of the things that allowed her to stay mad at me was watching me take care of other people and watching me take care of other people's children when she in fact felt like maybe I wasn't taking care of you or giving you the same
patience for me, the same patience.
And would you say that there's times that I still don't have the same patience now? You can be honest. Like, truth and transparency. Because nobody can heal if we're not being honest, right?
Sometimes.
So what my daughter has expressed, correct me if I'm wrong, what my daughter's expressed to me is she feels like that I help others more and that I have more patience for other people and other people's children than I do for her. Now, as a mom, oftentimes what you do is we defend our actions, because I know the first thing I want to do is I want to defend that. I want to I want to guard myself, but there's no healing when the walls go up. I'm not trying to explain away, because what she feel is what she feel. I can't negate how I show up in her life to her. I don't have to agree, but I can honor. You don't have to agree, but you can honor. So what I now do is I now have conversations with my daughter. So I don't know why I give more grace to others than I give to her. I think that we naturally have a higher expectation of our children, maybe. And maybe it's not fair. And here's the thing, you're not going to have an answer for everything. So what you do is you talk about it, you talk through it. You figure it out. And you say, I'm sorry. When I tell you I didn't apologize, I should have it slapped across my forehead. I'm sorry. I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry. Because all we can give to anybody is what we have. I can't give you more than I have. All I can do is the best that I can do. And then when I know to do better, then I have a responsibility to do better. But I can't do better when I don't even know the better that I need to do or be. So I did not have an issue, saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, and water baptized, all of that. All of that, but I still had to say, I'm sorry. I didn't get it right. I'm sorry. I could have done something different. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I hurt you. I'm sorry that I've showed up for other people. And still sometimes even now, show up better for others than I do for you. I'm sorry. Do not allow pride to keep you from saying I'm sorry. Children have a voice. They need to be able to speak it respectfully. I didn't give my daughter permission to speak respectfully until she was 16, 7, how old? Wow. Job Corps? Mm-hmm. Job Corps.
And then you didn't really allow it. I just did it. I was just rude.
Rude and disrespectful, but that's a whole nother live for a whole nother day. So when the walls begin to fall, how would you suggest moms trust the process? Like when you begin to start seeing your child, and again, I'm saying daughters, but sons too, when you begin to see them start to soften, what would you suggest that moms do? Because I know one of the things that I did, I hurried, I tried to rush it. I tried to rush the process. When the walls started falling, I was, it was like, I didn't say you could hug me. You know, no, that's just too much. Like, out of my space, and then that was a place of pain. Because I wanted to jump on and jump into healing and jump into relationship, and she wasn't ready for all that. It was too much, too soon. Like 2 steps back. I come over, you got about a smooth half an hour, and you need to be over there, and I need to be over here. So what would you say the mom need to do to not cause their daughter or even son to start pushing back?
Let them come to them in their own pace.
Did you let them come to you in their own pace? To be patient?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we gotta be patient.
Yeah, because what people don't understand is forcing things to happen makes people bitter. When they ready, they're gonna come, and if they don't ever get ready, that's something you gotta deal with. They might not ever be forgiving enough. They might not ever feel like you ever are better. Sometimes you gotta take it a day at a time, and you cannot force what you want, what you think your relationship should be, because your relationship might not look like what your brain has it look like.
That's good. I need you to say that again. Your relationship what?
What your relationship looks like in your head might not be what the relationship is, because the child that you want is not the child you're gonna get. This is a whole different person. You can't go back to when they was a child and love and hug. You gotta come to them where they at, and where they at might not be where your vision has y'all at. They might not be wanting to sit down and eat cookies and ice cream with you every Sunday. They might not want to come to Sunday dinner. It does not mean they love you any less. That's just who your child is. And you can't look at somebody else's relationship with their child and try to make it your relationship with your child and how you and your child are going to heal, because those are two different children.
I think also, and whoever's on that I haven't addressed, thank you for joining. I'm sorry, I can't see y'all. I'm sorry, I got two going on, and this one's far. I think for me, one of the hardest things was expecting the daughter that left to be the same daughter that came back. Yeah, and I'm gonna try real hard not to cry. You have, like, when I asked God for this daughter and I made a decision, I want to have a baby and all of this, I had already this preconceived expectation of what my relationship with my daughter was going to look like. And so when that relationship didn't manifest, I tried to force, even before she left, I tried to force that relationship with her. And so she left at 18, but when she came back, I didn't realize that I was quietly in my head back here and in my heart, I was looking for the daughter that left. She was gone. She was dead. That daughter was gone. So now how do I embrace a stranger that I'm receiving as an imposter? Because I couldn't accept that this is who she is. Drinking and smoking. How much can I share? Okay, drinking and smoking. Who is this? Who is this? This is not. And so I was in a place of total and complete denial. That's not her. Things that she done, not gonna talk about tonight. There's gonna be a space for that. That's not her. I had all these things in my head of straight denying that this is who she was. This is what trauma, this is what life, this is what choices and consequences has now shaped in her. And I had a hard time accepting the version of her that she had become. She didn't have to go out there and get it the hard way. But she made a decision to do that. She didn't have to have a hard life.
But my decisions led me there.
And so the person that had to be filtered through that hard life, I was like, imposter. That's impossible. That's not my baby. Well, no, that's not your baby. Your baby is gone. Your baby walked out of that door at 18. And that baby had become a woman because of the decisions that she had to make to survive. So you can't look for the child that left. And I'm not always talking about physically, because we got children living in our homes that have left. That have left emotionally. You're a means to an end. Or because they're in an age where they really can't leave, but they've left. Everything is like, I mean, literally, where there is just this wall that as parents that sometimes we do not know how to break. We don't know how to get beyond. You've tried everything that you can try, and sometimes you gotta let the seasoning of life and time manifest in them the healing that you desire. Thank you for joining me. We're talking about the waiting room. What do you believe allows us to now stay grounded? Where we have some tips, but what do they last? They last 5 minutes?
Mine don't last 5 minutes. Yours might last.
So now this is what I come up against. Before, when I was trying to talk to her, it was this. God, I'll be glad when you stop talking. Now, now I get the same thing, but it's from a different heart. It's from a different space. It's like, all right, you done. I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry. We ain't going to bed like this. What is it? Okay, Ma, you're right. I didn't wash up the dishes. I wash them. I come down there and wash them. I wash them before I go to bed. Whatever it is, it's like even when the enemy wants to come in and try to draw a wedge, it's like it's impossible. Next thing we go from being angry to laughing because true healing has manifested. So what's allowed us to stay grounded is God has allowed a level of healing that we cannot understand or speak to. It's not anything we did. But we did have to open our hearts, and we had to be open and available for God to heal. So I'm going to ask you this, and we're going to hop off. What did you hate about our relationship before? What didn't you like?
Communication.
Thank you for joining.
Not Melissa.
Who?
Sorry, that's Melissa.
Thank you for joining, Melissa. Thank you for joining The Focus. Thank you for joining Spirit. Thank you for joining. So what did you hate about our relationship before?
Communication.
What do you think the communication was limited to just us talking?
You know, what happened was I grew up, and because I grew up, you were able to see me as a grown-up and not a child. Because even when I was a grown-up and not living in your house, you still treated me like a child because I acted like a child, but I just didn't realize that's what it was.
Okay, that's a mouthful that you just ran through real quick. So what she said, I guess I need to hear this again, was I treated her like a child. And she was angry because I treated her like a child. And we couldn't communicate like adults because she now understands I couldn't treat her like an adult because she didn't act like one. It's almost like, back in the day, I'm getting ready to be 55. And back in the day, they would say, you ain't grown if you don't own nothing. That's the last three letters in grown. And I think oftentimes when our children leave and they still need us, it's harder for us to allow adulthood to manifest in their lives. But now that she is showing up like a woman, oh my God, you're a woman! I still be struggling with. She ain't my baby no more, y'all. She is a woman, and she amazes me. She amazes me because she's so full of wisdom. She's wise beyond her years. And there's times that she has to ground me, the mama. Y'all, I'm getting ready to be 55. And there's times that she be like, Ma, you wrong. And I'm going to need you. This is what my daughter be saying to me, y'all. And I'm going to need you.
Get it together.
They can't hear you.
Get it together.
How she going to be telling me to get it together? She the child. I'm the mama. I the mama. And she's like, Ma, I need you to get it together. I need you to go in your room and pray or something. You need to go pray. Have you read
your Bible?
She be like, have you read your Bible today? And I be like, I like your nerve and beg your pardon, but no, I haven't.
Maybe you should.
Maybe you need to go read your Bible today. But when you look at, but can your 15-year-old tell you that?
No.
Exactly. It's allowing your child to really age into being an adult. But that doesn't mean they ever disrespect you. But as a grown 30-plus-year-old woman, she ain't like, she's not disrespectful, but she's like, Ma, I think you really need to go pray. Right? I think, because I don't know who this is. I don't know who done showed up here today. I don't know what's going on. But like, you need to go take a breath. Do you need the other wait a minute, on Friday? Listen, we're gonna say this, y'all. We're gonna get off because I've been on longer than I expected. On Friday, we had a conversation, and y'all, I was just like, how was it?
She was driving me nuts all Friday, and I told her to go take a nap, and she did. She needed to. She was stressing me out while I was at work. She needed to take a nap.
You done told these folk. Did you? See, I wanted to do it diplomatically, but she just done came up in here and just told the whole truth.
She needed a nap. She was overstimulated. Her brain was doing a lot. and it was stressing me out. Okay, I couldn't think straight because she couldn't think straight, and we needed to think straight. So she needed to take a nap for the both of us. Okay.
But here's the thing. I had to accept the truth that my adult daughter, because I think sometimes we don't allow our children to become adults. We feel like they can't ever come to us, especially in, can we be honest, in the black family. Like our children can never age to the point where they can tell us anything, and I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it. What? But I have to receive the truth and I have to eat it. Just like when I'm telling her the truth, I can't now only be the one that's the truth teller. When she is telling me a truth that is that is really, really true, authentic, I gotta receive it as a truth because she's not 14, she's not 12. She's an adult that has real insight and real wisdom. And I went and took a nap. Can I be honest, y'all? I went and took a nap. I did.
I know it. You needed one. You needed one in a hole. Hallelujah.
Hush. So the last question before we hop off is, what do you love about it? So the last question I asked was, what did you hate about our relationship before? So this question is, what do you love about our relationship now?
Communication, and there's no judgment, even when it's not what you agree with. You hear, you listen, you give your opinion, you let it be. Because that's all you can do. A lot of parents try to force their kids to be and do and look the way they want them to look. And you got to understand that, yes, they came from your womb, but they have their own life, their own body, their own soul, and their own mind.
Yeah, I had to breathe on that one. Because I'm so glad that she's experiencing it, because just because you're able to show up and it doesn't mean it's always easy. And sometimes I'll tell her, I'll be honest, and I'll say to her, like, I'm really struggling with this one, whatever it is. And then I offer a place for us to discuss it. And sometimes we're just like, well, Tiara's like, well, I don't agree with that. And then I'm like, I don't agree with that. And then we make a conscious decision to agree to disagree.
Because that's all you can do. What else you going to do? Because being mad about it is going to change what? All it's going to do is cause friction and separation. Nobody's gonna always, that's not just your kids, that's your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your cousin, your brother. Nobody's gonna ever always agree with the decisions that you make. So you can't expect that somebody else is gonna always agree.
And you can't have a breakdown in relationship
because y'all don't agree.
Because they don't do it the way you want them to do it.
Yes. And I mean, you can. Go ahead. Go for it. But tell me where your child is a year from now. Like, you can't make, all you're going to do is push them further out the door, and then all you're going to say is, I just try to love them. No, you try to make them be who you want them to be, so they're not going to come around, because just like you got to live your life and make your decisions for your life, you have to do that for them as well, even if it means they got to bump their head a few times. And sometimes you got to let them bump their head, because that I told you so, there's no better I told you so than learning your lesson. I went to jail, baby. You ain't got to ask me. I bet you I ain't going again.
And what I didn't do was what?
She left me there for 3 days.
Oh, that's the loudest you've been the whole time we've been on here.
Well, I was in jail for 3 days and people was watching me go pee-pee. So, yes, I was loud. Couldn't even go pee-pee in peace. Drunk people, bugs everywhere. Bologna meat that looked like, then they didn't even try to give us no juice. They gave us some milk. All these grown folks, and y'all giving somebody some milk. Don't nobody want no milk. I was so ready to get out. When I got out, I shouted all the way to QT to go get me some food. You gotta let them bump their head sometimes. And that don't work for all kids. Some kids just, I ain't gonna say they bad seeds, because that's horrible to say. But some kids are just, they are a genetic makeup of what they come from. And y'all take that how y'all please. But it's just the truth. A lot of women lay down with people and they don't know who they are. and the genetic makeup comes, and you like, this ain't what's going on with my, because that man that you slept with for one night, you didn't know he was crazy as hell. I mean, I'm sorry. You didn't know that he was crazy. And unfortunately, that's the genetic makeup of now your child. And you have to figure it out because that's your child. I act more like my dad. I ain't spent 2 seconds for real around Joe. Joe Coleman is my biological father. But I tell you, I act more like that man than I do this woman, and I grew up in her house. Genetic makeup is a lot, and people don't think that it is. But your children can never be around someone, and you be like, why is you acting like? That's why you got all these women out here that don't like their children because they don't like the man that they had the children with, because the child genetic makeup is that man, and they act more like that man than they act like that woman, and she's upset about it because she don't like that man. So then the child becomes the problem when you're the problem.
Well, and she's and we're gonna say this and hop off, and she's right, because one of our challenges has been, she said it herself. I
act like my dad.
Me trying to figure out, like, where'd she get that from?
Joe.
Like
Drinking, smoking. She don't do none of that.
she wasn't raised around this. She wasn't raised around that. I never did da 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 da. And I never did. Who is this? Some is, I heard it. This has been years ago. I wish I created this little saying. I didn't, but it's true. Some of it's nurture.
Some of it's nature.
And for the things that's nature, the only thing that can help that
is loving them through it.
Loving them through it and praying. So the things that are breaking them can break. So that the things that are breaking them can break. Because we can have a new nature.
Sure can. Each season you got a new nature.
We can have a new nature. But it's desiring to be different, and it's desiring to show up different. Listen, you all have been in the waiting room. I don't know what God is going to do with this. But what I do know is that there are a lot of mother and daughter relationships in fracture and in breakdown. And if there's anything that somebody can take away from our almost two decade relational breakdown, if there's anybody that can learn anything from it, we want to hop on here and help people. I want to set it up differently so I can actually greet the people that come on both screens, so I'll know who we're talking to. So thank you for joining me. There's some people that have stayed on. Listen, we really appreciate you being in the waiting room with us. If you're in the waiting room of your relationship, and let's not just make it daughter. To me, it's daughter. This is all I got. She the only one. This is all I have. But even in your relationship with your son, it doesn't change. If you're in the waiting room of healing, if you're in the waiting room of restoration, if you're in the waiting room, wait well. Don't stop praying. Don't stop believing. Don't stop loving. And as she said, not me, don't stop showing up. I remember asking God, what do you like? She didn't leave right. God said, treat her like she did. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, treat her like she did. Just go check on her. Just go Sundays. Go check on her. See how she doing. Take her to get something to eat. Y'all, that was hard for me. Because I'm like, she ran away. Now, she think I put her out. But that's a whole other conversation for a
whole nother day.
She think I put her out. I didn't put her out. Well, I'm going to tell y'all what I said. I said, if you don't do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, right? Then you need to leave. You didn't leave. Take all your clothes with you. But y'all, I didn't know she wasn't supposed to leave for real. But I told her, you gonna do this, you gonna do this, and you gonna do this. And if you don't do this, this, and this,
you can get out my house.
Deuces, take all your little clothes, pack them all up. When I should have told her, don't you take nothing, because you ain't.
Well, you did kind of say that too.
I did?
Mm-hmm. You was like, you really ain't about nothing. I should tell you to leave all over here.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But she took all her clothes.
I did. I needed them. They go put me out. They I ain't gonna leave with some clothes.
Took every stitch.
Every stitch, and then destroyed them. Let somebody.
Did you? Oh, see, okay, we got a whole nother waiting room. We got our next conversation. Listen, y'all, I don't know when we're gonna hop back on, but I think these are conversations that need to be had. I think that a mother needs some hope. A mother who has don't have a year in, don't have 2 years in, don't have 10 years in, but has been waiting and believing. And just when I thought it was hopeless, God didn't just bring her home physically. He brought her home, her heart home. And he's allowed this season to be, that she's leaving me, but she had to come here for the healing to seal. She had to come here. You know, the Bible says that God is going to restore the years that the cankerworm, the palmer ate up. We don't, and then that's not the one. The scripture that says God will restore the years of your youth. What God allowed to happen in this home was for God to restore the years of her youth. We were able to go back and for God to restore the relationship that we didn't have when she was a child. That's literal. When God says he will restore the years of your youth, he means that. So now we have been able to come up under one roof, and God has been able, we've had to talk about technically chores. We don't want to say it's chores because we're adults, but that's what it is. God has restored the years that we did not have when she was a teenager. He has restored those years, and he can restore those years for you too. Look at us as examples and witnesses that God is a restorer. And if there's anybody who needs prayer, I can't see nobody on TikTok in this moment, but listen, I'll pray with you. Listen, you're not by yourself. You're not alone. You're not alone. Almost 2 decades. Y'all better hear me. Almost 2 decades of a broken relationship with my daughter. And we be in this house like friends. Now she'll never be my friend. I'm always be her mama. But it's a joy to be around her. That's God. Flat out. Listen, let me tell y'all, for anybody don't know, I am E. Marie Speaks, and I have something coming that's pretty amazing. Transformers is coming, recoded, mastering mindsets, mapping momentum, all the things that we'll be on here talking about, the waiting room and other things. Those are things, those are strategies that we'll be taking into the room for Transformers. There's going to be comedy. There's going to be, I'm missing something. Music. Oh, live music, comedy. There's going to be food. There's going to be good food. I'm going to feed you real good. So if you're in the Atlanta area or not far, it's even worth a plane ride to come and see us. Tierra has launched her cake business, Teas Pillow Pound Cakes. Pound cakes are going to be in the house, and they're going to be amazing. Listen, you don't want to miss this transformative experience. If everything on the outside seems wonderful, seems amazing, it seems like you're doing well, nobody would think that you're struggling, but you quietly are, you need to be in the room. Listen, E. Marie Speaks, spks.com. You need to get your ticket, because guess who will be there? Me and my big baby. We gonna be there, and we need to see you in the room. Peace.